Hi guys, it's Belle here and I am back with week 29 of the Margarete Miller collage challenge. As always, I will leave links to Margarete Miller's YouTube and her Etsy down below where you can purchase these prompts from. And don't forget, there is a playlist of both my 2022 completed collage, Margarete Miller collage challenge year, as well as everything up to today on my channel, so check those out if you haven't. This is the size of the paper I'm using. It's this sketchbook, A5 and 130 GSM, and I like to turn it this way because I like these on the outside. And let's get started, guys. So this is going to be a bit of a darker one. Well, I say darker. So typewriter text, I've got this old letter. I don't even know what it says, but it's in German. So that's got some typewriter on it. Something round. So I haven't decided that yet. A candy wrapper. So I have this. Oh my gosh, I recently picked these up. And they're vegan. And it's really hard to get like chocolate peanuts that are vegan. But these also have the corn in them. They were so good, guys. They also do the individual packs, but oh gosh, they were good. Something that's dark. So I have this image of a crow or a raven from an old diary of mine. A place. So we have this cave in Roscommon in Ireland. And short bonus, a short word. I'm thinking I might cut out one of the words from here. So yeah, and I also might be doing some stenciling. So let's get started. So the reason, oh, and I've got some music paper. The reason I was going for a darker theme and the ravens is because this cave, so if I hold this up, you'll be able to read it. But it basically is over 5,000 years old, and it's part of like some old mounds and earthwork and things like that, and it's basically in Gaelic described as the entrance to the other world. Christians call it gate to hell, but we weren't Christians back there, we were pagans, and so it was the other world. And the other world wasn't considered the way Christians do with hell. The other world is just where you went where you were dead, and like where your spirit went on, and it was considered almost another place to live. It was just part of the experience. And as it says here, it's linked to the royal seat of Queen Mab and things like that. But it's also linked to Morrigan, the crow goddess. So it's linked to the Celtic festival of Samhain, which is around Halloween. And yeah, Morrigan is linked to battles, death. Again, she's not evil. People have that misconception. She's not evil. It's because with the advent of Christianity, a lot of what pagans believed about the other world and death became synonymous with like the Bible and hell, and they aren't like that at all. So she would roam the battlefields and she would take fallen soldiers. She would also sometimes decide who'd die, but she would take fallen soldiers or people of, you know, people of import and whatever, but she would take them and help them cross over to the other side. Obviously crows are linked to her. That, well, it's either her, she can be seen as a single goddess, or the three sisters, because crows are often on the battlefield because they're scavengers. But one, she would do that. She would walk with the fallen soldiers. She would see who died. She's seen as the washerwoman in the well. If you see her washing what looks like your clothes, or if you just see her washing clothes that seem to be blood-stained, it means that death might be near. She's linked a lot to the Banshee as well, the fairy woman who mourns the dead. So there's a lot. I want to have March, because if you actually look on there, it actually says about, you know, marching, and made me think of soldiers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the Phantom Queen, she's often referred to. Death and rebirth. I mean, death was not as Christians often thought of it as. It wasn't seen that way by the ancient Celts. it was just another facet of life, in a sense, in a strange sense. It was seen as spiritual. You had the different realms in the other world, like the Fae and everything. I mean, I don't need to, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, let me pause. Oh, I do apologise. Maybe I do want the word because it says a place. So maybe I could cut this so I can put it on there. But yeah, so this is kind of a sacred place for anyone who follows the Morrigan or who works with her and things like that. The Morrigan is someone I feel quite drawn to a lot of the time. Possibly because magpies just follow me everywhere. Yeah, so when it said place, I have this Celtic diary it's called Moon. Basically means Women of the Moon in Gaelic. And it's a yearly diary. This was from a couple of years ago, this one. And it just, you know, it's about all things Irish, Celtic, pagan, sort of spiritual. Obviously, it has things in there as well, like the Bridget's Well, because obviously Bridget was a goddess before she became a saint and a nun and all that kind of thing. Yeah, it's just a really interesting book, and it has Gaelic words in it, and it does moon phases and just things like that. So when it said about this, yeah, I think I might want that there over the April. Yeah, so that's really good so far. We need to put some of this text on, so I just want a little bit because, yeah, I just want it in places. So I thought I would do this about, yeah, as it said, something dark, and I was thinking, well, people have the miss, I don't even know what that says, but we're going to, because I'm always worried about putting something on and it's a word that I don't know. Just in case it says something. Yeah, people have this misunderstood kind of thing about the Morrigan. Well, there's a lot of misunderstanding, isn't there, about the old ways, the old traditions. You've probably guessed from my channel, from a lot of the kind of journals I make in that I follow more of those older things, the spiritual ways and that. Yeah, so she's misunderstood. There is no kind of evil in the other world or death in old paganism. It's not like that. And yeah, but so I just wanted to use the crow because I knew I had that image. And then when I was looking for a place, I was like, oh, perfect. Crow, Morrigan. You know, really, I want some black ink on here to just do the edges. But so Roscommon, yeah. So these caves are there. Many people go and visit them. And it's all linked to lots of the old ancient burial mounds and things like that are all over Ireland, north and south. These are in the south, the Republic. So yes, thought I would do that. And while Samhain is quite a way away, because, you know, Halloween's not till October, although Samhain is linked to Halloween, obviously, but it's also the month of November, I believe, in the Gaelic calendar. Although Samhain's quite a way away. As I said, you know, I saw this, I saw a place, and I thought, ooh, and I have to admit, I'm already getting into the Halloween mood, in the Samhain mood, in the spooky mood. So, although she is a goddess for the whole year, not just for Samhain. So yeah, so I thought I'd do this, and at some point, either this year or early next year, my sister and I will be going... Oh, sorry about that. I have no idea what that noise is outside. I think it's a lorry. We'll be going back over to Ireland to take our mum's ashes there, so she can be laid to rest in the family grave. So yeah, we'll be doing that at some point. It will probably be next year now. I think sometimes you just need to grieve for a little while, and you just need to kind of, I don't know, do what needs to be done. And my sister has some things she wants to do with the ashes and things, so before we actually, I don't know if I like that big, but it's too late, it's done now. Okay, so I want to almost put a mix, because there's so much of our Ireland that is a mix of the old Celtic ways mixed with, I'm going to use some texture paste, mixed with Christianity from when Patrick went over there. I'm going to colour this with a little bit of black acrylic ink, because I want it in black. Yeah, so Bridget's a perfect example of that. Bridget has been part of the pagan mythology for many hundreds of years before Christianity, and part of the reason, you know, she is also in the Christian faith. I mean, apparently there was also a nun, but the monastery where the nuns moved to is in Kildare, which was the original home of, supposedly, the goddess Bridget and her eternal flame. And then that flame was then done by the nuns too. It gets a bit, yeah, it's a real mix in Ireland. So it says something circular, so I'm thinking of trying to do a circle in these, in the texture paste. We will see how successful. And these are circular anyway, the dots, so you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. But yeah, part of the reason, obviously, they sort of included her into the Christian faith when they were introducing it to Ireland, was because she was just so popular as a goddess. I mean, there are wells and things of her everywhere, that, you know, the ancient Irish, I've just realised I haven't even stuck this down. That's interesting. The ancient Irish weren't going to be able to give her up easily. So she was kind of, you know, amalgamated into it, same as like the winter solstice and things. So yeah, it's a real mix in Ireland. It's such, now it's such a, I suppose, especially in, well, it is such a Christian country in many respects, but most Irish people still cling, also not cling, but still kind of acknowledge the old ways. They still kind of acknowledge the I'm going to quickly glue this down, like the fae, and you know, you don't cut a fairy thorn tree down in Ireland, doesn't matter if you're a priest or not. You know, there's just, it's this weird mix back home of quite, in some cases, extreme Christianity, hence all the problems that have been back home for many years. Let's not get into that, that's all political and stuff. We don't need to be talking about that on a craft channel. But yeah, there's all that that's been going on, and yet there's still this kind of link to the old ways. I know, as I was always being brought up, we were always told about the fae and make sure you respect them, and you know, beware of them too. And yeah, it's just a thing back home. There's just this wonderful kind of mix of Christianity with old superstitions and old ways, and yeah, so I thought the word mix would work. Anyway, it does for me, so I'm going to put that on there. And it said a wrapper, but again, just because it says something doesn't mean you have to use it as is. I mean, I could use the little nuts and have it down there. Also, they've got this purple, and to be honest, like, when I think of the Morrigan, I often think of purple with the Morrigan. Black, things like that. So I'm going to cut out the word mix first, because, as I said, I kind of want that as my small word, mix, because of what it's like back home. I'm just not cutting this very well, guys. And again, I know I spoke in one of the other videos about getting inspired, that sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle, or you feel like you're in a rut because you're just collaging in the same kind of way all the time. And again, another brilliant way of doing it is by what's the word? Is by just thinking of something that inspires you, or taking a photo, memory keeping, or creating a story around the piece that you're working on, making it special to you, adapting it to what you kind of think of. I really wonder, like, I don't think this is going to punch. I'm going to attempt to punch out a flower, but I really don't think it's going to punch, because this is a strange kind of material. But let's give it a go and see if it does. This is also a really old punch, so it might not be punching. Well, it kind of, sort of, did a flower. I mean, I could try and cut the rest of that out, couldn't I? So I was just thinking I could use some of that, have a flower on there. I don't know. So yeah, so take something that is important to you, or that is a memory for you, or I don't know, a place you've been, or maybe you always go to a certain festival, maybe you have a favorite food, maybe you have a favorite drink, maybe you have a favorite show. I mean, I know I've done a collage this year that was slightly inspired by the Famous Five. So, and another one that was inspired by another series of books that I really like. Let's just cut this out. So yeah, just take something like that sometimes, and it can just help you feel inspired to do something different. And you don't have to have everything on there. Like in the other, what week was it? Week 27, like I cut up the what's it called, guys? Business card. I cut it up and used the image on there. And I'm wondering if I want a flower. Do you know what? Now I've done that, I don't want to. This is from the packaging anyway. I'm wondering if I just want a little bit of down here, which I think I do. So I think I'm going to do that. And I have some black texture paste left anyway, so why not? Yeah, just take something like that. I've been inspired by the Goddess Morrigan, and, you know, a place in Ireland. I would love to go there. I never went there, not even when I lived there. Like, I've never been to that area. So it's definitely on my places to see. So there's 4 now. So I'm wondering if I want this kind of joined up. And then that would make it 3. I haven't got a lot of texture paste left. And I don't want to get any more out because, you know, I want to use what I've got. Okay. That's better. It now looks like there's 3 bits because I've joined those up. Although that hasn't got a single... Does it matter? I feel like I want a single circle. I'm going to try and get a single circle just there, guys. Oh gosh, Belle, what are you like? Right, let's take a bit off and let's just get every last bit. Okay, so all over my fingers now. I smushed some of the others, but that's better. Okay, so that is today's one, guys. I'm not going to be able to stick the bit on the back yet because obviously I can't. So, typewriter text. So we've got a few bits of it on there. Something round. Well, these are round dots on a stencil. A candy wrapper, so that was from a candy wrapper. Something that's dark, so we've got the crow and also the texture paste. A place, we've got the Caves of Roscommon, and a short word mix, because I really do feel like Ireland is a mix. It's just a mix of the old and the new, of Christianity and paganism, of rationalism and superstition. Oh, and I chose music because that really makes me think of the Morgan 2 and battles. You have music when you go into battle, and obviously in Ireland we love a song and we love some music, so you know, yeah, I did all that. I made sure the word March was out. And that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a bit weird. I don't know. Sometimes when I do ones like this, I get a thumbs down. We shall see. Not everyone likes certain topics. I get that. But this is my channel. And this is who I am. So there we go. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. And I will be back again very soon. As always, leave comments down below. I always love chatting with you all and hearing what you have to say. And wherever you are in the world, guys, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.